Welcome to Contemporary Black Voices, where we take on the most important issues confronting Black America. Our panelists are the lovely Dr. Michael Chadwell. New York Times bestselling author is not with us today, Caleb Alexander, and the writer, Frederick Williams. I'm Chris Dawkins, and I'll be your host. Our subject today is, should Black people demand more from each other? I say yes, and I offer these Black commandments. To advance ourselves as a race, we must embrace self-policing and of our own. Often we have given each other a pass when the offender is Black, only because we've seen the injustice white people have levied against us, which is why we have enabled a community no snitch rule, which, although arguably perpetuates Black on Black crime with no consequences for the offenders in our communities. We all want more, and it is not enough to continue to issue blame to outsiders for our situation. We should understand that nothing will be given to us. We must begin to do the change to achieve the change we want. By doing so, we strengthen the character of each of our people, and one by one, we can transform our community. We'd love to hear what you think. Please comment on YouTube at Black Video News. Please hit the like button and the highlight bell so that you know when we have a new video that's going live. And don't forget, our topic is called, we have a new topic we call Mailbag, which we will do right after we finish the hot topic. So let me read to you what these commandments, 10 commandments are. And I'm going to read them from my phone, if you don't mind.
Now, you developed these, right?
Yes. Yes. Are you Black first? And be Black first. Be spiritual over religious. Know thyself first. Educate. Respect, cherish, and protect. Understand and respect the earth, soil, and all of life. Support Black. Love, live, and respect one another. Do no harm. Never allow a Black community to be controlled by outsiders. And number 10 is lead, follow, and unite. So I would like to ask our panel, I think that I really wish we did have, that you could see this, but you can't. But those particular commandments are something that I strongly believe, and yes, Dr. Chadwell, it was something that I developed, but my quest is to say that even if you don't accept these, we do have to accept some type of protocol that we have for each other. Right now, we have no protocol. We do anything that we want to do, and there's nothing that we really hold each other responsible for. And I think it's time that we really begin to do that.
Let's go to your first one. What was it? Are you Black?
Be Black first.
Be Black
Yeah,
first.
before you're an Alpha, before you're an Omega, before you're a Catholic, before you're a Seventh-day Adventist or whatever, you're Black first.
And so if we look at some of these so-called Black leaders, what Clarence Thomas is not Black first.
Correct.
Tim Scott is not Black first.
Correct.
And so you're saying they do harm, which I agree with you, by not being Black first. Because I'll tell you, the game that white America has run on this country is when they had to do, open up doors to hire Blacks. They controlled who they hired.
Sure.
They want, but just by having the Black skin,
Right.
They said, well, we got somebody Black. And so what you're saying, I think is important, is that it has to be more than just Black skin. It's got to be Black mind too.
And let me also say for the viewing audience, be Black first is not something that I came up with. That was taken from Dr. Boyce Watkins.
And before him, people have said that.
Oh, have they?
Oh,
Okay.
heavens, they've been saying that. Dr. King, one of the issues on when Dr. King and Malcolm came together was on being Black, being proud of being Black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this whole idea of, I like what you had in there when you talked about not sharing information with the police. You don't want to be what you call it,
A snitch.
a snitch. I remember in the late 60s and the 70s, and everybody was coming out against the police.
Right.
Well, you know who loved that?
Too.
The crooks, the criminals. Said, yeah, keep the police out of the black community. And the result of that was my wife and I were back in Washington, D.C. It must have been about 7 years ago. It was at Christmas time. Elderly black lady's house was broken into, and she was killed for her money from her Social Security check.
Wow.
She needed the police. The same week it happened again. The woman didn't die, but they broke in and took her money. And that's one of the major problems. You know, when a black policeman shoots a white, and that's bad. L. Sharpton, everybody shows up. Man, give me the mic. Jesse can't do it anymore. It used to be Jesse giving the mic. But when a black kills another black, they're nowhere to be found.
Right.
And to me, that may be a bigger problem for us today than anything else.
Let me move on to the second commandment that I have, which says, be spiritual over being religious.
Oh, boy.
We have so many.
You better be careful. Minister so-and-so is right outside.
Look, as black people, we have so many religions that we belong to.
Every corner.
that
we got a church.
We got a church. But we have so many religions that we cannot focus together. The one thing that every religion, I think, believes in is God. So I'm saying be spiritual over trying to enforce your religion on somebody else. And I think for it, as black people, we will go a heck of a lot further.
You want to do this, Sharon?
Well, I wanted to skip down to something about the earth, respect the earth and
Yeah.
soil.
Yeah, understand, respect the earth, the soil, and all of life.
So one of the things that we have to remember is that we come from a background where we were planters and we had cattle, we had this. But now, if you say that you have a garden, then there's a discussion as, are you black, are you not black, whatever. But we need to start respecting the earth, because the earth is where a lot of the things that we need to survive come from. And we need to be prepared to create our own gardens, to create those things that will sustain us through rough times. And then the other one is support black businesses.
Well, it just says support black. But yes,
Support
black
black.
businesses would be included.
So I'm gonna look at it two ways. I can support black businesses, but as a customer, I want the black businesses to support and respect me. I have been in some black businesses that I have to admit I won't go in anymore because the inside is just horrible. It's nasty. The workers have bad attitudes, but they want me to come in there and spend my money. There's nothing wrong with integrating best practices from other businesses.
That's right.
To make your business better. So I can support those businesses who are continuously learning how to improve their businesses, not the ones that, that want to maintain a status quo, if you will, environment that really is not safe really for the customers or the people that work there.
Let me say this. When you talk about support black, I had the opportunity, I think it was in April, to go to Atlanta. And it's the first time I really spent a lot of time in Atlanta. And although it wasn't more than maybe about 2 days, but all of the help was black. At the hotel, it was black. At the restaurants, it was black. Everywhere I went was black. But what's more important is that they all treated me with respect, and the same type of respect that I would get if I had went to a white establishment. So I was very proud of those people in Atlanta for what they've done, and understanding that what you were talking about is that you need to respect the customer as much as you want us to give them our patronage.
And the same is true in Washington, D.C. We go back there, and we just love to see young. I remember this one young black student. I mean, she was so polite and everything, and the very thing that you're talking about you didn't see wherever this other place was. Yeah. And I think that's important. Respect each other. Yeah.
And number 8, I think, is a very important one. It says, do no harm. And I think even though it's very few words, we have to look at what's happening in our community where people want to talk about the black on black crime. And sometimes it is black on black crime. But we have to really begin to look at each other and say, hey, we're going to do no harm. Because there used to be a time where guns weren't as much involved as it is now.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm not going to call any names today. Okay, do no harm is peddling drugs during the crack epidemic.
Yes.
Peddling crack to our young girls.
Yes.
Was that harmful?
Yes.
So can a person who does that to get where you want to go, then all of a sudden they become an upstanding citizen? So do we forget the harm they did and say, oh, that's okay. They did it to make it. And we respect them. No. But they did the harm. How do they fit in? How do they fit in there? And you know who I'm talking
I know who you're talking about.
But I won't call them. I would, but I won't.
I think that's a very good question. I don't have an answer for you, but I do believe that
They did harm.
They did harm. They did harm. And they shouldn't have been there. And I think as we go forward, as we have commandments that we keep for ourselves and to each other, that doing no harm at that time, everything was being accepted. Whatever they did.
Go there. Don't you go there. Don't you? Now you're making it okay. You're making an excuse for this person. He did harm.
He did harm. I agree with that.
The crack epidemic destroyed a lot of families, especially it was a drug for some reason that our sisters were going to.
Right.
And the word was, the crack dealer replaced the pill. It was destroying. So that was doing harm. They made a movie. Denzel Washington made a movie of
Training Day.
American Gangster.
American Gangster. American Gangster. They made a movie. Did this guy do harm?
Yes.
And we made him. So what you're saying is do no harm, but we keep doing it, and we make heroes of these guys. They make movies. Denzel Washington plays this jerk.
You never had a commandment, or you never had anything that we were expecting out of each other. We have never expected a type of behavior from somebody else. We've accepted the behavior that they've given us.
Okay, let's go. Let's tie your first one into this.
Okay.
The first one is what? Be black.
Yeah.
If you're going to be black, you don't do that. You don't play that role because that person has done harm to our community. So you're doing it only for your money and your own gain.
And I think you look at it from a logical standpoint, but I think in our community, it is something that we really need to look at deeply. And if we accept commandments like this to do no harm, then each of us can talk to each other and be able to say, I'm not going to allow you to do that.
But you have to first believe in your first one.
Yes.
Be black.
Yes.
Then all the rest of them will fall into place.
Yes.
Break time?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to stop here and take a break. And when we come back, we'll have a discussion about what we just talked about.
Keep going. Keep it going on.
Keep it going on.
Yeah. We haven't had a fight yet.